Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. I hope that you're doing okay. I hope that you've had a good day, and I hope that your day, if you're halfway through, is going to plan. If you are starting your day, I hope that your day goes exactly the way you've planned it. If you're laying in bed, I hope that you've had a splendid time, and it's your mind. You relax in bed to listen. Hope that we're both able to have a good conversation, able to reflect as we relax. It's 2015, and you've just decided that you've had enough. You've had enough of where your life is at. You've had enough of being patient and hoping that somehow you're going to have this lucky draw and you would have the change that you wish for. The difference is the change you know you want requires some dedication and a sort of a move from your part. For some reason, you're not seeing that change because you're yet to move. It's like playing chess. You move, you make your move, then your opponent makes their move. Then you make another move, and your opponent makes the move. If neither of you move, the game is yet to start. 2015 was the final time that you've decided, you know what, this is my time. I'm going to take that shot now. Everybody around you calls you silly. The person you work for turns around and say, you've got a fine opportunity here. Why jeopardize that to go take a plunge in something that you don't even know if it's going to turn out the way you think it's going to turn out? Everybody tries to discourage you. You've got that bird in hand, and you're just going to give this up. The thing for you is a little bit more than that. There is a fire lighting inside of you that makes you think that this time is going to be different. And by this time, I mean, this is not the first time you're doing this. Try to take this shot before, but something happened. That thing that happened ended up throwing you off sync. One, the system and structure you went into to get that knowledge turned out not to be suitable to provide you with the right certification, coupled with years down the line, the financial crisis happened, and you're like, you know what, this is not for me. But this time around, you're determined. You're determined because there's a change in course. The first goal you were trying to pursue was in a completely different field, but this time is in a field that you feel comfortable and connected with. Comfortable and connected. And that's what's driving you. Everybody around you sees somebody that is losing it. But is that what they really see? Or is it a case of they might actually make this and they're gonna experience a change that we are not sure we're ready for? Because at that time in line, you're all on a level where everybody feel comfortable with one another. Change is one of those things that make people feel uncomfortable, even the person trying to make that change, because you know not what's coming. 2025, 2015, you give it all up. The job that you've worked so hard for, gone. The comfort that you've built for your family at that point in time, gone. You're now having to almost start again. This time, you tell yourself, no matter what happens, we're seeing this through. And the end goal is that in 3, 4, 5 years from now, before my kids turn 10, they would experience a change that is beyond what I would have been able to provide for them if I remained in this position. But trust me, I've got this. Even you within yourself, there is a part of you that kind of goes, I say I've got this, but have I really got it? Because this is uncomfortable. First day in your new space, you look at everybody, becoming a student again of life. Everybody around you, majority of them are young, fresh blood. There's an excitement about them. For some, the excitement is about, ooh, this is a time to get into experiencing what adulthood is like. And you're there thinking, oh my days, so hold in this space. It's your first challenge where you begin to compare your life experience with somebody else's life experience, and you begin to feel out of place. Then you see other people who are older than you, and you swap stories, and you soon realize that regardless of where you are in the progress or trajectory of life, you're driven by a common goal. A common goal, which is to make a difference and make a change for the people around you and the people you're going to come across as you go through life. The first year goes by, and some of those people that you all started, you witness them like a tree going through the varying seasons in life. Some of the leaf withering away, falling, and then they just get swept away by the wind. But you're steadfast. You're steadfast because you're driven by a goal. This goal that you're driven by is not one that you've taken lightly. It's one that situation have made you realize that it has to change now or it can't change at all. Year 2 comes and you witness more change. or people fall by the roadside. And the size of the claws gets smaller and smaller and smaller. But you remain focused. This time around, you look at the end goal like it's almost there. It's like you could taste it. And the fact that you can taste it makes you excited. It's like a meal, your favorite meal being cooked, and it kind of takes over the air, and you're like salivating as it is coming closer and closer to you. It's like you're almost eating it before you could even see it. And finally, it hits you. And the reality of the end almost hits you. And you're like, we're almost there. The difference is it still gets smaller. The people you thought were going to make it with you, they're not there. But just before you could get there, you hit by news from your family being unwell, you having to balance this goal that you're trying to achieve with looking after your family member that's unwell, with balancing the needs of your children, with thinking, "Ah, I don't think I could do this anymore. I I think this is not going to work because there's a deadline, and the deadline is tomorrow." Now you have to think, do I go for that, or do I get this deadline done? Either way, something is going to have to give. The trial and tribulations that we all go through in life, setting things before you could get to the end, just really challenge you to see if you really want this. And sometimes this happens. The people you've always counted on and seen as friends will do one or two things. They would either really shine at this time, or they'll let you down. And they come through for you. They come through for you by making you realize that just do what you can in this presentation that you've got. We know you're always good at doing stuff, but there's a reason why this is not going to be one of your best, but we've got you. We have got you. Rather than pull off it, just do what you can. Some people are not happy about it, but the people that have got your back have got your back. And you literally just and that is when you realize that we're definitely gonna make the cut. We're definitely gonna make it, because soon after that huddle, everything after that became the way you thought it would be. The year is 2018. Final assignment, check. Placement, check. And then it's graduation. And you're dressed and you're walking to collect your certificate, and it's what you always dreamt it would be. The problem is, you were not the one in that picture because this was always the movies. This was always the clip on YouTube that you use to inspire yourself. You told yourself that it was possible, but you just haven't replaced the person walking with yourself. But actually, this time, it was you walking down to collect it. Can't contain your excitement, but you remain calm. But inside of you is like a swan as they're treading water. They look calm right up there, but underneath is chaos as you're treading water. Inside of you, there is a part of you that almost questions the reality of what you're experiencing. Is this real? And every time you tell yourself, it is. But is it? It is. I am the one standing here. Remember, you've already tried this before and it didn't work. So, of course, there was always going to be doubt. Of course, there was always going to be skepticism. Of course, witnessing people fall along the roadside was always going to make you question your ability to achieve. For a lot of us, we are faced with a decision. And a lot of the time, when we're faced with this decision, we ask for other people's opinion. And the reason we do this is because we want to be able to have these people hold a mirror to ourselves. It's like standing in front of the mirror and trying to see if what you look like is exactly, if what you think of yourself is exactly what you look like. Sometimes the mirror reflects exactly what it is that we are. Most times, not sometimes. But we want to convince ourselves by holding the mirror upside down that it is something that it isn't. We could do that with our career and say, comfortable where I am at the moment, I don't need to change. Even though we're unhappy, even though it doesn't bring the change that we want, even though it doesn't quite meet the needs that we have. That could be on a financial level, that could be on a mental level, that could be on on an emotional level. Sometimes we convince ourselves that it is exactly what we need. Potentially because we don't believe that we are capable of doing anything better. Because we've tried once before and we failed. What we often miss out is the rationale for that. Why did it not work? What are the surrounding reasons? And why did we think that that was the only option at that time? Sometimes we hold the mirror backwards and try and tell ourselves what we look like in this mirror, and nothing we tell ourselves is a true reflection of what we truly are. We paint this image to ourselves. I'm 10'6". I've got a full beard, nice goatee that is curly, a full head of hair that is coming from all angles. We're a different complexion to what we are because we're uncomfortable with the one that we have. When in actual fact, the mirror is meant to be a reflection of what we are. What we're supposed to do is embrace what we are. The reflection, who we are. What we need to do is fully analyze what we are, who we are, and say, you know what? I'm capable. Because I've done this before and haven't quite made it doesn't mean that I'm not able to make it. Sometimes we need to be ready to hear the hard truth. And the hard truth is we know what the people that loves us and care for us the most are saying is true. You're better than the position you're in. You can make the change that you want at a larger scale and reach more people. You just need to trust yourself. People hold a mirror for us so that we can fully reflect and embrace our true self, because that's real. It's not easy. Because when you confront yourself, there are certain emotions that it invokes. Sadness, pain, sometimes guilt for not trusting in your ability. And what we try and do then is use that as the reason not to continue, because we have let ourselves down. When in actual fact, that moment of revelation is the time we need to start. 2015 was the beginning of my story to make that change, to go back to university, because I wasn't happy with the position I was in. And I needed to make a change. And I had my area manager and all of that turn around and say, there is a nice position here for you. Just stick with it. I've already done what you're trying to go down, and this is where I am now. But because somebody else felt that the direction they took wasn't for them, doesn't necessarily mean that that direction in terms of progression is not for you. What steps are you taking to make the change? And are you willing to count on yourself and be patient? Because it takes two to make that change. Just like the chessboard. I move, you move. I move, you move. It's your move. Why not take it? It's okay to be afraid. But don't let your fear overtake that dream you've got inside of you. And it's okay to say, not sure how it's going to work, but I'm going to trust the process. Because you know what? I'm capable of achieving that. I might just need to do a lot more work. So, let me know what you think. Comment section below. Until next time, it has been King. Peace. Bye for now.